everyone, in this video I would like to introduce you the Life Planner 2025. The reason why I recommend this planner is that first, it helps clarify your values through a worksheet designed to discover what's most important to you. It's at the beginning of the planner. From there, you can plan your day, week, month, and then year, focusing on what you value most. Personally, after clarifying my own values and then creating my plan based on them, I transitioned from living a life that was simply busy to one that's fulfilling. If you're interested in knowing how to use it, I will explain how to use it, so please continue watching. First, the initial question. What are you most passionate about and why? When answering this question, be careful not to write what you think would be socially acceptable to be passionate about, or what you assume you would like based on the type of person you want to be. Instead, think about what you truly enjoy. If you can't think of anything, try recalling something you were passionate about when you were a child and write about that. For example, in my case, I wrote something like this: traveling, learn about different cultures, languages, creating things, cooking, baking for events, eating good food, learn new skill, look at beautiful views, spend time with my children, husband, and close people. Next question. What life values would you teach your children? This question asks, if you were to teach life value to someone important other than yourself, what would you teach them? If you don't have children and find it hard to imagine, think about other important people in your life. Here's my example. Experience various things, enjoy learning, plan well to achieve what you want, work on gaining skills little by little, eat healthy and exercise, contribute to the society as it also gives you happiness. Next question. Who do you look up to and why? Write about the qualities of someone you respect, and it's okay if they're characters from books or movies. For example, I wrote Alan Turing, because he saved many lives with his creation. Elena Baknova, because she's a YouTuber who learns about many cultures and travels a lot. Hermione from Harry Potter, because she is passionate about learning. Ryoya Takashima, because he's a YouTuber who leaves little impact on the environment. Also, he creates really great looking food. Next question. What do you want people to remember you for? When others talk about you, how would you like them to describe you? For example, I wrote, for my children, I want them to remember me as someone created the opportunity for them to be able to do what they want, be financially well off, gave education for them to thrive in life. For my spouse, that I worked hard to provide and created many memories with. And then for the rest, that I contributed by creating something beneficial to the environment and society. Last question of this page is, what would you do if you had unlimited resources? Write about what you would want to do without any limitations, such as time or money. I wrote, for example, I want to live in several countries throughout life, give my children many experiences, let them study where and what they want. I will spend time traveling, making delicious food, learning new skills, create products that benefit the environment and society. Looking at my answers on this page, I found some important keywords that come up. For example, learning, traveling, experience, creating, and contributing, giving to my children, husband, and society. These are my values. Look through your answers and find your values. On a side note, values represent what is most important to you and how you aspire to live. Setting goals rooted in these values allows you to make decisions that align with your inner needs and desires rather than being influenced by external factors like social expectations or others' opinions. For example, for someone whose value is to prioritize family, their work-related goals may include finding a job or work style that allows them to spend more time with their families. Now let's move on to the next question. Next question. Based on your values, what would you spend more time on and less time on? What are the things you would like to incorporate more into your life based on your values? And what are things you feel you're spending too much time on that don't align with your values? For example, based on my values, I want to spend more time on studying, traveling, reading, creating things, exercising, etc. And spend less time on things those prevent me from doing things that matter. For example, driving, internet surfing just to kill time, working long hours at an office. Next question. Describe your ideal scenarios in each of the following categories: lifestyle, finance, health, mental health, self-development, relationship with other people, leisure. Try not to make your ideal scenario just an extension of reality. For example, in the self-development category, I want to study at least 2 hours a day. But if I consider my full-time job, I may write to study 1 hour a day as my ideal scenario. In this case, I should write study 2 hours a day and forget about my restriction, in this case, my full-time job. Some of my other examples are, for example, finance. I wrote, I have enough money to support children's desired education. I have enough money to live where I want and don't have to have the need to work. Next, based on your ideal scenario, how would you assess your current situation? By doing this, you will grasp how things are now compared to your ideal scenario. Notice, for example, in my case, I'm pretty close to my ideal scenario in relationships, self-development category, but far from how I want to be in finance and lifestyle categories. Then, on the next page, based on your assessment of your current situation, what steps would you take to move closer to your ideal life? Think carefully about how you can bridge the gap to your ideal and write it down. For example, in my case, lifestyle and financial points were low, so I wrote down my steps to increase those points. I wrote, for example, I will need to work with my husband to continue on paying more than required payment amount for the mortgage to pay off fast. Keep living under your means and work on gaining skills and knowledge to earn money outside of being employed. Step 1, keep on living frugally. Step 2, pay excess money to mortgage. Step 3, once mortgage is paid off, continue on living frugally, save and invest. Step 4, when time allows, find ways and prepare to earn money outside of employment. Next question. Please write your personal mission statement. Take some time to reflect on your core values, long-term goals, and the impact you want to have on the world. Craft a clear and concise statement that expresses your purpose and vision for life. For example, I wrote, 1. I will make decisions based on what my values are, allocating time each day to make my ideal life a reality. 2. I will create a foundation for my children to thrive in life, to be a great support for my husband, and create great memories together through many experiences, traveling, and working towards goals together. 3. I will keep enjoying studying languages and other subjects to learn about the world and be efficient at work, and to create things those benefit the society and environment. Now let's imagine that next 10 years with the answers from the previous work in mind. First, write your age for each year, then gradually add the things you want to experience and achieve for each year. For example, in 2025, I want to have my second child, but also want to study and travel and earn money on the side. So I wrote to travel in the country, which is easier with children. Study Excel, VBA, and dashboard, potentially Python, which I can immediately apply to at work, and increasing efficiency to leave the office earlier, which leads to more time and to spend time with family, study, and create another planner for 2026. In 2030, I want to buy a property in another country that I move to in 2029, start selling bags using recycled materials. I love writing this page and thinking about how I would like the future to be. I hope you'll enjoy writing this page as well. Next, let's plan 2025 month by month. How should you plan to achieve the things you want to do in 2025? Feel free to write down not only the things you want to achieve, but also fun events like hosting a birthday party. For example, I wrote that I want to travel, so I wrote down in March to travel on a budget to Texas. Also, I want to create a better planner for 2026, so I wrote some small tasks each month not to overwhelm myself to do a whole lot at once to make the planner. I also included some fun activities like bake cookies because with the baby I forget to do some fun activities. I will remind myself to do these things throughout the year. Now let's move on to the tasks to be done each month. This is the work for the beginning of the month. Look at your self-analysis page and monthly pages and write down what kind of month you want it to be. I wrote for January 2025 as it's the first month of the year. I will challenge myself with new routines and make it an exciting month. Next, write down what should be prioritized to make it an ideal month. You can also think about what things you should be conscious of. I wrote down to first reduce waste by putting all the food waste to compost bags and bake bread and bring small bags to grocery stores for produce. Second, revise life planner self-analysis section. Third, to take a mini trip, which I've never done by myself with a baby, to a small town and give my husband some time off. Next, create a specific action plan. Think about how you will turn your plan into action. What will you do on which days? What habits are you going to build? And so on. For example, I wrote to bring a small compost bucket to kitchen and plan every weekend to mix compost bin with more food scraps. Schedule a short trip with the baby to town XX on a Saturday. Also, every time I commute, look up various self-analysis questions, methods to plan and achieve goals to improve current self-analysis section. At the end of the month, give yourself a feedback. Write about what went well, things you want to be more careful about next time, and what you worked hard on to make the next month even a better one. Finally, let's move on to the weekly page. First of all, the time is divided vertically, which has the advantage of visualizing how much time can be allocated to each task. And now I would like to show you how I personally use my weekly page. First, I will write the goal of the week. For example, I wrote, for the first week of January to spend quality time with my baby and husband. Now I will start entering my current plans, starting with fixed schedule. For example, working hours I highlighted in pink. Another fixed schedule is commute time I highlighted in dark blue. Then other plans, for example, on Monday I have an abacus class highlighted in another color. On Friday night, I will watch a movie with my husband. Saturday, I will explore a nearby town with my baby. And Sunday, I will go to a nice cafe with my husband and baby as I want to spend more quality time with them this week. Now, I will start to enter my to-do lists. I will first start with mandatory tasks. For example, I will need to do grocery shopping for next week on a Saturday. I'll put that there. Also need to do a meal prep for the next week on the weekend, so I'll put that on both Saturday and Sunday, for example. Then I will put other tasks I want to do. For example, I want to study languages, but after I get home it's difficult with the baby, so I will put vocabulary and grammar on my commute to the office since I go by train, and study Excel and work on the 2026 planner on my commute back. So I'll put those in the tasks for Tuesday through Thursday when I commute. Another thing you can do with the weekly planner is to put what your overall mood was for the day. Like with a smiley face, neutral face, and a sad face. If you notice a pattern, for example, on Sundays, my mood isn't great in general, I can try to put more fun activities in my planner on Sundays. This is how I use my 2025 life planner, but I'm sure you can find a way that works best for you, so feel free to give it a try. If you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section, and thank you for watching.